Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with Matt, Adam, Brian, Doug, and Freddie, where they discuss everything that matters in today's fire service. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, baby.
Why? Oh my God! We're out on Mars. Everybody just went driving to work. They're like turning it up.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. You got Freddie, Unkie, Brian, and Matt here. The Cool Fireman Podcast. We're having a great morning, aren't we, guys?
We are.
How are y'all doing?
Such a great morning. Such a great morning.
Yes.
Somebody double fisted the ghosts before he came on. I'm just saying.
Stop being
like slalom.
Stop being pervert.
Oh,
Brian.
nope.
This is a kid-friendly space.
That is an
Sorry,
HR
Rhett.
Sorry, Rhett.
We have two children that we know of that listen to this podcast.
Sorry, Rhett parents, for having to explain
Jeez.
what double fisting is.
We've lost it. We're 57 seconds in, and we are completely gone.
Sorry, Quinn. Sorry, Red.
Unbelievable. I don't even know. We're going to get kicked off Spotify. They don't allow these types of podcasts to be produced. Hey, you got Unkie, Freddie, Brian, and Matt. Where is... Yeah, we don't even have to make anything up for Doug. He's actually on a fucking Disney cruise.
Here we go.
With no kids.
He says it's a
That is
Disney cruise,
weird,
but
dude.
it's not. It's actually one of those Scientology cruises.
No, it is a Disney cruise. We're not making up anything funny. It is actually funny and hilarious enough what he actually is doing. Sometimes he's training dolphins. Sometimes he's feeding goats. Sometimes he's saving horses from the wilderness. But today, he is in the middle of the ocean on the way to Mexico on a Disney trip with Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse with no kids.
Buddy,
He showed us a picture of him doing arts and crafts. I couldn't love
jealous.
Doug anymore.
We're going to share that. When the day this episode airs, please check out our Instagram and Facebook page. You will see the video of Doug, a picture of Doug's arts and crafts.
Yeah, we'll post it on Patreon, but you have to be an engineer subscriber to see it.
Folks, it's time for housekeeping.
There you go. That's where it needs to go. Not Instagram. It needs to go on Patreon.
How does that mic taste? Just wondering, you know.
Is it that bad? Sorry.
Well, it was. Well, blew my ears out, but
And also, before this episode, me and Matt, we talked about some stuff that we were giving away.
yes.
So you have to check
yes.
that out. I don't know under what platform. But yeah,
Unkie's
Patreon.
giving away fake candy cigarettes and Unkie patches.
And
What else?
Tiffany,
Oh, a Tiffany.
box. It is water box, wireless Bluetooth speaker, and really the crown jewel is your legacy fire cards from Taylor's 10 and National Fire Radio.
All right, you can't give anything else away. It's going to be on the engineer subscriber Patreon. So yes, our Patreon is up right now, folks. Right now, a lot of great stuff. You could see Doug feeding his horses, a lot of behind the scenes things with the Cool Fireman podcast. You get to see Brian's new bikini pictures. It's exclusive only on Patreon. TMZ wanted to give us a lot of money for those, and we said no. These are for our Patreon subscribers.
That
Only you.
I'm paying for it. I pay for it every day for that Patreon. That's damn right. Check us out. Patreon. I think it might be in the show notes if I remember to put them in. Merch, guys. I still need to get some merch. I don't even have merch. I have our hat, which is amazing.
that's how exclusive it is. We don't even have it.
Yes, the exclusivity of our merch is unparalleled.
You got to get it now because it sells out so quick. Look, we couldn't even get it.
What is going on?
I'm
Who
waiting for the
is
Cracker
doing
Barrel.
that?
That's
Stop
Freddie.
doing that, Freddie. Jiminy, you're so nervous. You're playing footsies. Yeah, merch. Go get some merch. Notorious Fire. We still have the same merch up. We're trying to get some other stuff up there, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen there? Sponsors, boys. Sponsors. Who sponsors the Cool Fireman podcast?
the burn box. Adam is going to go get the burn box. In this month's box was all kinds of cool swag. Of course, I want to give a shout out to Adam. We don't say this enough, there for a year or so, I had some recipes in. Adam has picked up the torch, and every single month you have a special edition Unkie's recipe. So this week I want to highlight it. Adam, what is in this month's burn box recipe? Do you remember? I put him on the spot. See what he says. Not that. So good. Look, he's pretending to be frozen. He doesn't remember.
Exit stage left.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't remember. But anyways, I know first month it was Mimi's green beans, and there's something else. I don't remember what it is, but you will want to definitely subscribe for the cool merch, but also for the training aids as well as the recipe. So I think there's a promo coming right about now.
From the firehouse to your house, Unkie Seasoning packs bold, firehouse-tested flavor into every meal. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or just sprinkling it on your favorite snacks, our blends turn everyday eats into unforgettable bites. Pick your flavor, shake it on, and taste why it's firehouse approved. Go to unkieseasoning.com.
Perfect. I love promos. Promos.
You know what pairs great with that promo and that pitch for the burn box? Is the fact that almost every single one of those monthly recipes in the burn box ties back to an Unkie Seasoning. And the other sponsor that we love is Unkie Seasoning. Mm-hmm. Hey, can I give a shout out to my mother and father-in-law? Just last night, they used Elizabeth salt, buttery rosemary on a grilled smoked chicken on the grill. That's what we had for dinner. So delicious.
So was it grilled or was it smoked? Please tell me.
Both.
How, you can grill and smoke a chicken.
Yeah. See, you can't do that on the West Coast because that's not allowed. You hadn't paid your taxes enough. But on the East Coast, we can do both.
I pay plenty of taxes. Don't you get off me.
Yeah, but you didn't have enough permits or something, I'm sure. But anyways, you can do both.
So
yes, you can't have open flame. So we do both.
I can't use charcoal.
Yeah, you can't use charcoal. But although you did have the Weber, what is it, Griller Smoker 3000 that you bought, I still am impressed with that grill that you had. Remember that big tube thing that you bought from that guy? Yeah, I love that grill.
It. Oh, it is my favorite thing to cook on. And it is so consistent, too. I can keep that sucker right at 250 for hours, like 7 hours, without even stoking nothing. It'll just, bam, it just stays. I love it.
You know why?
You know why? Why?
Because you've got Unkie Seasoning on whatever it is you're cooking. That's why. It says, I love this, and I don't want you to leave. So I'm going to stay consistent because this is heaven. Roll that promo.
Brought to you by the Burn Box, the #1 firefighter subscription box. The Burn Box celebrates firefighter products and firefighter-owned and operated businesses. Start today and receive a monthly box of firefighter apparel, gear, and tools. Check them out at theburnbox.com.
Okay, good.
Bam!
There's the promo. There it is.
And big shout out to Mama Lisa.
Yeah,
always
Mama Lisa.
using it, always ordering.
God,
Thank
she
you,
comes
Mama
through
Lisa.
every time.
Ho. Speaking of shout outs for it.
Whoa. I thought we just had Santa Claus.
I know. Ho. I got to give a shout out to Aaron. Remember Aaron, who used to work with me, or I used to work with him, I should say. I left, not him. But anyways, he loved the Chipotle and the Elizabeth salt. That was his too, and we added the box of extra things. Remember that, Adam? He loved combining. He loves combining those two flavor profiles together. So I'm just saying, he made a comment. He's like, don't put those together and make a new seasoning. And if you do, I want royalties. So just say, those two together are fantastic. That's it. I'm done. Sponsors, love them.
I'm sure Unkie thought about that when he made both of those. Just saying.
Sure he did.
Just saying, hey, Ron, watch your... Stay in your lane.
Chipotle is my life.
Yeah, very good. What are we talking tonight, boys? It's 8 minutes and 48 seconds in. What is it that we're talking about today?
Adam's going to pitch it, I think. Because Freddie left. Freddie bounced.
Freddie's gone. Freddie gone. Freddie got a phone call. Freddie had to take a phone call.
honestly forgot.
Just like what's in this month's box. I remember, so I'll drop the comment because I remember, even though the two guys who wanted to talk about this are having whatever they're having, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, should we
talking about
promote? Should we
that's right.
promote?
Promotions. Don't
Should
do it.
you
Don't do it.
Continue
Stay
to
fireman
climb
your whole
the
life,
ladder.
folks.
I got it. Should you continue to climb that ladder, or is it okay just to be a firefighter? Or is it okay just do a career as a captain or a operational chief? Or should you climb all the way up to fire chief? And we have experts from all sides. Me, I personally choose not to promote. Freddie is trying to promote. Matt has promoted. What, one tier, right? Or two tiers. Then you got Brian, which has been all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Right.
Only position I haven't held is the two positions I have not held is station captain and battalion chief. And that's just the career path. The two positions are. I don't know. What did I say? I don't know.
So
it's been a long
Who
day.
learned you
Brian's
how to
held
smoke?
almost every position in the fire department. Even climbed up through the admin side with the fire marshal department and ran a fire marshal department.
This is a great topic. This is a great topic. Even for guys and gals that are trying to get into the fire service and they're like, man, I'm just sitting here trying to get into the fire service. I'm just trying to get myself into the fire department and riding on a fire engine and doing good stuff. So it's good for them too, because it's just a good overall topic. You know, like I could sit here and say, don't do it. With more responsibility, comes a lot of good stuff too. It's being a higher rank in the fire service. It doesn't bring more leadership. We've talked about that before. There's no rank in leadership, but it does bring more responsibility. And, you're responsible for your men and your women, and you're responsible for your station, responsible for your rig. I mean, you're responsible for everything that you guys do throughout the day. So it's fun. I like the position. I don't know if I love it yet. We're in a interesting situation in our department, and
you're coming up on 2 years, Captain?
Yeah. Through 2 years, 2 years, January 22nd. So almost there. So yeah, but it's been good. It's
Congrats.
Evals and dealing with, it's good. It's not a bad thing, but it's not for everybody. It's like what you said, Unkie. Like you're like, I'm just gonna be a fireman my whole career. It's totally fine. But it's too like the department that you get in on. Are you big city Doug, and you work in a big department where you don't necessarily have to promote, because they have so many guys to pick from. You only have so many spots, right? Mm-hmm. But or do you work in a small department like mine where you're like kind of pressured to, hey, are you going to start taking the tests? Are you going to start studying and doing all the stuff? And you're like, I've got guys that are like, I'm not ready. I don't want to promote. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
You got to find your reason why. And I think there's, right now, off the top of my head, 3 reasons why people promote. And the first 2 are the worst reasons. I want that title, and I want that pay.
Right.
That is the worst reasons to promote yourself.
Yes.
The reason you should want to promote yourself is to be a leader. And I had a discussion with my brother. He's a first line officer. And he agrees with me. I'll say, with you, Matt, you're a captain. That's your first line officer. You work for your crew. Your crew doesn't work for you. You make sure that you make sure they get paid. You make sure they're trained. You make sure they go home in the morning. That is your ultimate responsibility, and you lead them. And I just can't stand when people, they just want to be called that title or just for the retirement money. I mean, I understand both, and I respect the money part, but you got to understand you're a leader. You have to lead. So that's my business. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I just want us to pause and agree on something here really quickly. And I know maybe it's a minute detail here, but we commonly use the word leaders in leadership with a positive tone, right? But to your point, those same two people with those two underlying agendas can be leaders, right? The old crabby guy in the corner can be a leader. In fact, we talk about AI and Chat GPT and Weber Dictionary. Leaders are defined. I searched it real quick. Are individuals who take responsibility for direction and influence, people who set the example, make decisions, and bring others with them towards a common purpose. The reality of it is if you look at Washington, D.C., the people you disagree with are leaders. Okay? They're not somebody that you align with, but they're still leaders. Leadership is defined as the ability to influence, guide, and inspire people towards a shared vision or goal by example, characters, and action while serving the needs of others and holding oneself accountable for results. Wow. What a difference.
I wish I had a pair of glasses to throw down. That was good.
Right? Yeah. What amazing paradigm the two are. And so when you look at it, there are tons of leaders in the organization who don't bring leadership to their position, right? And they are different. And so when we talk about should I promote or should I not promote, there are people who have leadership qualities at the rank of firefighter and are some of the best at leadership within their organization, right there where they are. And for anybody who says, hey, we have a spot to fill and we want you to fill it, I go back to the training that Matt and I gave. Is the worst thing that we can do in the fire service, and we learn it from the private sector, is take the best widget makers and promote them to leaders thinking that they can change other people. Sometimes the best thing they can do for productivity is keep them right there where they are. So that is sometimes some of the best things that we can do. So I'll pause for a second, just for that. So,
Brian, I love that. That was great.
Damn, Brian, you just blew the doors off of the Cool Fireman podcast. I love it. That's awesome.
Thank y'all for showing up tonight. Good night.
Thank you. Drop the mic, motherfuckers.
Gosh.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right, dude. I think that's a very, it's coming from the Webster's Dictionary, but at the same time, it's very applicable. It's very applicable. Everything.
And I go back and say, I think. And I'm going to say this. I was a guy who was, I don't want to say forced. I had a captain who made sure that I was ready to promote at every rank. And it was a different era, right? Back then. There was an expectation that we would do it. It's what we signed up for. So I don't know how to say it, but like there was an expectation that at my department, when you joined the fire department, you were going to take the next step. You were going to move up. You were going to fill those billets, and only very few were not. So the expectation was that you were going to do it. And I can remember my captain sitting down with me and saying, if you're waiting to be comfortable for the next step, it's never going to come. It will never come. And so, what we have to do is find what strengths you have and push you into that direction, right? There's EMS, there's hazmat, there's confined space, there's fire prevention, there's all these specialties. Yeah, there's tech. So there's all these specialties within the organization. The question is, we got to get to the end from point A to point B. The question is, which road are you going down? It's not a matter of whether or not you're going to promote. The question is, which road are you going to promote on? Because the organization, when you said yes and you joined the fire department, we're going to need you, right? I mean, it's almost like the old Uncle Sam calendar or the poster. It was like, we need you. And so somebody has to step up. And just like you're called at 2:00 in the morning to perform a rescue, I'm going to make you ready. So that way, when that moment comes, you're ready. And, those pieces early on about, leadership and leaders within the organization, that mentality 20 some years ago, I do look at it through a little different lens now. I do think it's okay for some people to stay where they're at. I do think, looking back, that there was people who weren't ready. I think that the reason why they weren't ready is because they didn't have supervisors who, for lack of terminology, watered them, fertilized them, prepared them, and so they weren't ready. I can remember walking up to somebody recently of higher rank who struggled with providing accountability, right, to his staff, and I walked up to him and I felt his backbone, and I said, "Huh, you do have one," and I felt it. And I said, "Bud," I said, "you got one. Go use it. Don't be afraid." Right? And he was like, "I needed somebody to tell me that." I'm like, "I know you can do this." We had grown up together in the fire department. But the problem with it was he walked into the room and he didn't show himself as the leader. Someone else with a loud mouth showed themselves as the leader with less rank than him. And he backed down. And that's not okay. He had legitimately earned that position, and he legitimately had showed himself time after time, but the loudest dog at the fence made the most noise. And so he backed down. And that's not always okay. And I know I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but I think it goes back to how do we know that we're ready to promote is when we bring confidence, when we realize that we do all have a backbone, that we all can invest in ourselves, and that we can all be prepared for that next step. As long as we walk in the room and we're confident about what we know, and then we invest in ourselves. So don't be afraid. If you want to do it, do it. Right? The Fire Academy wasn't easy. Driver's not going to be easy the first time. Lieutenant's not going to be easy the first time. Captain's not going to be easy the first time. But like reps in the gym, and I shouldn't know, I haven't been there in a while, but it will get easier with time.
You should. I think about that last week, folks.
I think one thing that just kind of sparked my mind while you were talking, Brian, is, and this is the picture that my brain drew when you were saying that, you were listing off all the stuff, is I think of somebody before they get into the fire service, and you've got people that come from all walks of life. Not all of us are the same carbon copy cut person that comes into the fire service. We've got a whole bunch of different people. So I see that as a 8-lane highway. You know, this is the way my brain does. 8-lane highway full of cars. When you get to the fire service, that's that where 7 of those lanes are closed for construction. Now everybody's got to merge into this one lane. Now, once you get into the fire service, that's where the horizon opens up. That's where those 8 lanes open back up, because they were doing just a little bit of pothole repair. Because once you get into the fire service, like you said, you don't have to promote. You could be a 62-year-old pipeman your entire career. And you know what? I bet you're probably one of the better pipemen across the country. But you know what? You could be really interested in confined space. Me? Don't put me somewhere where I can get stuck, because I don't want to do that. That's not me. You know, You might like hanging upside down from a 20-story building making a rescue. It might not be for everybody. Hazmat, fire investigation, whatever. So that's where my brain goes. You've got all these walks of life coming into this one profession. But then once you're into this one profession, there are so many tracks that you can take. And one of them is the officer route or the leadership route. And I think that you need to be riding backwards before you ride the right seat. And I think we've had this conversation before, but if you can't master riding backwards, then how do you expect to be somebody who leads 3 or 4 people on different apparatus or whatever, or be the teacher of somebody that's riding backwards? So you might get people that go into the fire service that feel like they have to promote. Well, my department is seniority, and there's 5 people retiring next year, and I'm up for lieutenant. So it's just the way it is. And if I'm being 100% honest and above board, I don't want that person as a lieutenant. I don't. And I can get blown up in the comments if you want, but I don't want somebody who's not dedicated to it, who's not taking the classes prior to becoming a lieutenant, who's not in their lieutenant or their sergeant or their captain or battalion chief's ear. Hey, I saw you did this. Why'd you do that? Why were those tactics what you chose? Oh, 10 years ago, I ran a fire and I did this and it bit us in the ass. So I'll never do it again. I've done it this way every time and my crews have been safer. Cool. You're learning. Somebody who, rides the armchair for 10 years and then now they get to be a lieutenant because they put in their time. I don't know. To me, that's dangerous. That's somebody that's not going out getting the training. All they happen to be doing is putting in time. And time and experience is great and it's valuable, but there's so much more to being a leader. There's so much more to being an officer than just, I have 10 years.
Well, 10 years of doing it wrong doesn't make it right.
Right. And don't discredit yourself, Fred, either. Like, I don't think that people in the comments are going to actually bash you. I think they actually agree with you that they don't want some guy that doesn't want to be in the position, or they were forced to be there, or I got divorced and now I got to make more money because I got to pay alimony, whatever it is. Like, yeah, Jesus, Adam's like, yeah. But don't discredit yourself. I think that's a pretty universal thought. I would think, hey, that's call to action. Like, let us know what you think about that. What you think about, and I'm sure everybody's worked for a lieutenant or for a captain on the West Coast. We don't have lieutenants, so kind of the same, there's a guy or gal that you've worked for that's like didn't necessarily want to be there, and it kind of goes with the paramedic thing too. I just want that 15% bump in my pay, so here I am, acting like a fake paramedic and I don't even want to be there.
That or they bitch and moan about, sorry, Rhett, every call that they get dispatched to. It's 2:00 in the afternoon and you get dispatched to somebody having a stroke and they're like, oh my God. Like, I've had partners where I look at them, I'm like, what are we doing? What do we do? It's not the middle of the night. It's not first thing before you checked out your like, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt of when a call is inconvenient, but they're never inconvenient. You signed up for this job. And I'm going to tell you right now that I've done it too. I am not without flaw. I've done it where it's like, oh my God, 5th call in a row. Like, dude, give me a break. I want to I got to pee, or something like that. But it's like, we came into this knowing what our job was. And I believe that it's disingenuous to take a lieutenant's or try and get a lieutenant's job for the pay. You know what? And Unkie's going to laugh at me when I say this, because this is like so not the way that a union member should talk, but like, I think leaders should be officers and the pay should be negligible, because I feel like you might get better leaders if it wasn't just a pay bump. Now, with that being said, lieutenants, captains, battalion chiefs, whatever, they get pay bumps, and I'm not saying that we should change that system, but it would be interesting to me if it was a position within the department to be a leader, to get more training, to do stuff like that, if people would do it without a pay bump. And if I'm going to be 100% honest, I would love to be an officer, but I got kids in activities, so the pay bump helps. But I just wonder. I wonder if that's a thing.
Well, I was going to say, within the organization where there's compression issues, I know several departments where there are people who take promotions and either don't get paid anymore, or in some instances, because they go to exempt status, they lose money because now they don't make overtime. Mm-hmm. So you have to ask yourself, is that for the title, kind of to Adams, right? Or is it because of a personal goal? Like, hey, when I started here, I had a personal aspiration. It's not for the power as much as it is to say, I wanted to finish this goal. And I think some of those, for those reasons, are they self-serving or are they self-gratification? Like, hey, I need to finish this. Like, I'll use this as an example. When I got my degree, when I was county fire marshal, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. My kids were there. I walked across that stage, not because I wanted to drive 2 hours. I wanted my kids to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't walk because I wanted to walk. I walked because I wanted my kids to see, what was, because they were so young, they didn't understand what I was sitting there at that computer for. But I wanted that to be a memory, right? So I wanted it to be worth it. And now looking back on it, it's like, hey, that was kind of worth it, But I think your points are valid, and I think much like the calling out sick episode that we had, that is the contextual difference across the fire service across the country. Some departments, they are structured in such a way compression is not an issue. In some instances, compression is such an issue. There's lieutenants making more than captains, and they're always going to get a pay. You know what I mean? Like that is such a problem everywhere, that the motivation piece that Adam talked about can be a problem, for a multitude of different reasons. And I'd love to know, not to turn it into a gripe fest, but in social media, but kind of what do they see as the underlying problem with promotion with regards to compensation, if that makes sense. Like where is the gripe?
Right.
I would argue, and I would take a stance of, and I'll just speak with me because I don't think I could say that this was across the nation, but I would argue that you learn more from the senior guy than you do from the officer.
Well, you're just talking about like you can rise up through the ranks in 5 years. I mean, without experience. I mean, you're talking about experience versus time on. It's two different things. Like you were getting at that, Fred, but I don't think you like actually said that. It's like you could be on for 20 years and run 2 fires, or you can be on 5 years and run 20 fires. I'll take the guy that's run 20 fires, to be honest. Like, and that's not me. Like, we don't run fires in our department. Like, it sucks. Like, we've talked about this before on the podcast. Like, if we could have more fires, we would, and we would be better at what we do, and we'd have less gripes from our staff, to be honest with you. Like, we just had a captain's meeting all the way around, and it's like at the end of it, I was thinking to myself, like, if we were busier, I don't feel like we'd have any of these problems. Like we're not busy enough, so we got to find something to bitch and complain about. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way. It's just everybody's trying to make the department better. Everybody wants to make sure that the department is doing the best and running the most efficient, and staff feels like they're at the tip of the spear, and that's their responsibility to do that. And it does. It starts from the top and it goes down, right? So they are correct in that sense. There's just so many different variables, dude. And this is a podcast where we're talking to guys that are volunteers. We're talking to guys that are full-time. We're talking about guys that work for 2 station departments. And we're talking about guys that work for 90 station departments. It's a massive difference. And the variables are so difficult to decipher just sitting here and talking about it on the podcast amongst different sizes and experiences, and there's just so many different ways you can go with it. So it's almost like we have to ask the question with specifications or certain parameters on it. If you work for a small department, guys, and you have mass attrition, that's me. I work for 4 stations. There's only 36 of us on the floor. Okay, 36 people, 4 stations. We run 3 staff. That equals 36 people. We had probably 12 guys retire in the last 3 years. What do? That's a third of our department. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about guys that don't want to promote. So what everybody just says, nope, I'm not doing it. And then what? The city is forced to put a lateral captain position out, or hey, we're hiring for captain, and here's the requirements for it, and you can work for any department and come in and work for our department. Like that, we don't want that.
That's wild. That's wild.
Or you have the people that you don't want to be in those roles, they will take it.
Yeah.
The people that want for the badge and for the pay, those people will take that opportunity to move up.
Well, I took the opportunity to move up in that case. I moved up earlier than I wanted to. I was only a fireman for 8 years. I was an engineer for 2.5 years, and half of those, or a half a year of that, I was out on disability because of my heart. So I really only got two years to drive. That wasn't enough. Now I'm going to be a captain for 15 years, unless I go up to BC at some point or whatever I do, But, what you guys were talking about before, too, is you have to, in my opinion, Unkie, or whoever, Fred, you might not agree with this, but you have to respect the rank. That's the way it goes. You have to respect the rank. So you're going to respect the guy that you don't like, the decisions that he's making, how he's treating you, the leadership that he portrays, or what he thinks is leadership or she thinks is leadership. You don't have to agree with it, but you have to respect what they're saying because of their position. But you don't have to trust that person.
What is?
Sorry, I don't trust you.
But hold on. And this is what I was going to break in earlier, and I didn't want to, and now I'm going to. Is where does 90% of frustration come from? 90% of frustration comes from a lack of understanding or a lack of perspective, right? So with that, a lot of that frustration comes from the lack of understanding is a lack of communication, a lack of perspective. And what I mean by that is we get kind of to your point earlier, Matt, and this is when I was going to inject. If people go back and rewind 2 minutes ago, you said, we get frustrated because we want to make the department the best we can, right? And so what happens? We sit around the kitchen table and we say, man, I don't know why the Chiefs are doing it this way, or I don't understand why this is happening, or why, city council is doing XYZ 1, 2, 3. And so let's be clear. 90%, I won't say 90%, but there's a certain percentage of most people of why they don't want to promote, because they don't want to be grouped with those people that are making the bad decisions that everybody's talking crap around the kitchen table about, right? Because now you're part of the bad group of decision makers. But the reality of it is that there's right, and there's variables that we have no understanding about of how it came to that decision. So when let's take the town hall decision off, and let's say we're on C shift and B shift had a fire, and we drive by there and we go, man, we could have saved that, and they didn't, right? How many times has that happened, right? I'd have done this
after every
single fire, right? But what did we lack? We lacked informational knowledge, transparency about what happened, and that's to our peers, y'all. It's not to the upper ranks; it's to our own peers. And I notice I didn't say to paid, I didn't say to volunteers, I didn't say to anything. And so take all that aside, and I think that that's the majority of the frustrations that we have. And so now I'm going to speak to the Chiefs, all right? I'm going to speak to the white shirt mafia here. When I say that the best...
Are you speaking in a different language? Do we need to translate?
No, I'm
it?
just...
Pig Latin.
But I'll just say one of the best things that we can do is provide clarity to our people in the thought process and the decision makings that we have. So when we don't get something in a budget, when we have to rewrite a policy, one of the best things that we can do is stop 5 minutes at shift change and go sit on the couch at the back of the bay and say, hey, do you got any questions about this policy that just came out? Because what that does is it provides transparency, and more importantly, it provides trust. And hopefully what it does is it provides an opportunity for, by repetition, to say that it's okay to have that level of conversation, to have that level of transparency, to have that layer of communication, so that way we can make them feel like, you know what? It's not a bad thing to be part of that group. It's okay to promote. It's okay to be part of those decision-making processes. And it's okay to be part of the tough crowd to make those hard decisions. I mean, Matt, you guys just did your, what was it, that little thing where y'all do where you pick your shifts or whatever? What was that called?
Bid,
you sent us.
We bid.
You did your bid.
Well, before
That's
that, the gizmo. What do you call it?
Ouija.
Ouija. But that's not an easy process. But even though it's not easy, y'all make it fun. But at the same time, I mean, those are not easy things. When you start talking about people within the organizations and where people are new, some are more senior, some have better skills, some get the weak, some get the strong. I mean, the reality of it is, I'm not at Laguna Beach Fire, but I know that process is probably not an easy one when it boils down to it. Am I wrong?
Well, it depends on what you mean by is it easy. I mean, it's everybody's like I said, we anticipated for months before, and everybody pretty much knows how it's going to go down, and we have fun with it. So,
I guess what I'm saying is the months leading up to it, it's very strategic. It's a long process. Things are put into play, right?
Yes, it's anxious. It's a little anxiety. It switches things up. It's people go different places. People go to places that they don't want to go to. So that's like me. I'm bottom of the barrel in rank and captain, so I'm going to the slow station to rot. But so no, it's not easy. What were you gonna?
Well, and I was just gonna kind of close it out by saying that no matter whether you're the chief and you have to make hard budget decisions, or whether you're the station captain and you've picked up rank and you get the crummy station location, or the guy that needs the most work, right? Sometimes the best thing that you can do is just provide that transparency and trust. And that's all I was going to say. So that way, when your crew or your whole department has to make those tough decisions for people to pull up rank, you know that you have unilateral support from the guy sitting beside you at the back of the bay, all the way from the guy who rides up in the pickup truck from town hall and says, hey, we got each other's back. And this is the best place to work, right? We got each other's back. That's leadership to me. That's leadership.
You got something to say, Fred. I do too, but I want you to go.
I love your idea, Brian, but I see a small flaw with it.
Okay. Send it.
I would love for the Chiefs to come out and say, hey, we're looking at changing SOP 506. Whatever the hell it is. Sorry, Rhett.
Whatever. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Whatever.
Hell is not a bad word. It's in the Bible, okay?
Now, or, hey, we just put out 506. We changed this. What do you guys think? I love that idea. I want to lead with that. I love that idea. However, in my experience, I've worked with now 6 chiefs that have been directly in charge of me. Off the top of my head, 3 of them, I can recall that if we would have said, I don't like that policy, chief, he would have taken it personally, he'd have gotten pissed, and something would have happened. Next day, you'd have been scrubbing baseboards or something like that. So I love that idea. I love it. But can these chiefs, are they... I know you
Notice
are.
who I
Can
said
say,
I'm talking to.
Hold on. Can I say
who did
this?
I say I was talking to? Yeah.
I know you are, Brian. Are they genuine when they say, I want feedback? Or are they looking for you to say, hell yeah, Chief, you're the best. Thanks for changing that policy. You're the best. They walk away and we're like, golly, really? We got to wear polo shirts until April? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Because I don't know
Well, I hope
if some chiefs out there want the truth. I think they want to be, I think they want to feel
Ego
like
stroke.
they're doing the right thing.
Yeah. And if they do, then you probably can see through more than the question, right? And to your point, it'll show, right? But if they're in it for the right reasons, it'll show too. And hopefully when they sit down with you, they also are very transparent in saying, hey, we had to make this policy change, and I know that it's not the right thing, but understand that here's why we had to do it, because legally speaking, we had to, and whether you like it or not, or I like it or not, here's what it is, and we got to take this medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're very transparent about that. I mean, sometimes they just have to look at you and say no, right? Like, that's just the way it is. So hopefully it's not just about the ego stroke, it's about also being transparent and honest in the things that nobody likes, right? And like I said, I think both would show. Matt, what were you going to say?
Gosh. Well, you just created more in my brain off those last couple of minutes. But what I was first going to say was, Brian, it's great, everything that you said. And, as you're talking about transparency, the biggest thing, right? Good communication amongst ranks. And that's a hard thing to do. And that's one of the things that we talked about in our captain's meeting was, having communication just between the 2 other captains at my station on the other 2 shifts. And hey, what's going on with the station? What's going on with the rig? Like everything, all encompassing issues, and that everybody needs to know what's going on. But when you're talking about like transparency and all this stuff, a lot of it comes down to being able to discredit the person that's saying that because you don't trust them. They say, do what I say, not what I do. They show up without the proper PPE on and then give you shit for not one of your crew members not wearing the right thing, this, that, and the other. And Scott, so it is a rock and a hard place for me right now in this podcast, this episode. But I'll kind of leave it at that. And if you're listening, God, I don't know. I just want to talk to so many different types of people and we just don't have enough time. But it's just, man, look in the mirror. As an individual, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're a captain, if you're a fireman, engineer, driver, operator, whatever you want to call it, captain, lieutenant, chief, is just look yourself in the mirror and just wonder if maybe if you are a problem. And like what you're saying, Fred, is like, golly, man, if some chief came and had a discussion with me in a firehouse at the kitchen table, that's where it typically lands, and I question something, and all of a sudden I'm scrubbing baseboards because of it, like, wow. Like, I don't have to deal with that in my fire department. And I am like, thank you, Lord, for that. I wouldn't be able to handle that. We have good dialogue. My chief would tell me straight to my face, I just don't agree with you. I'm sorry. I don't agree with you. And we're going to do it this way. And again, back to Brian's point, there's stuff that we don't understand sometimes on the floor, like legal stuff, like what you're talking about, Brian. There's stuff that we don't understand as to why this is the mission, but we are in charge. We as lieutenants, or in my case, captains, we are in charge of pushing that mission to our members, to our crews, and fulfilling that mission for our community. The mission, the men, and then me. That's what it is. And so I'll kind of leave it at that. But a lot of it comes down to trust, man. That's where I'm going to leave it. We're getting 46 minutes in.
I'll be 100% clear right now. My current chief is he's been in the interim role. He was in the interim role for 5 months. He's now been like full time now for like a month, let's say. Best chief I've had. Best chief I've ever had. If I'd have started my career with this guy, I wonder where I would have been. He was our AC before, now he's our chief. He gets it. In my opinion, he gets it. So
does he listen to you?
He listens. He came in the other day. We were sitting there. He came in the other day and he's sitting there. He's like, hey, well, let's put it this way. When he took the interim role, he took all the battalion chiefs, sat them down. And he said, hey, this previous chief was there for 7 years. I need you to go to your crews. What needs to change? What do they want? What do they feel oppressed on? What do they feel like needs to change? Bring me back a list. We're going to meet in 2 weeks. I need everybody to bring me back a list. And we were bluntly honest. We shot for the moon. And we've already seen 4 or 5 things come out from what he said. So he's good. That's all I'll say.
I want to do a call to action before we go to that next segment, because I know as soon as I say it, it's going to do a little sound bite. I want our call to action this week to be in the comments. Give the one singular word character trait of that officer that you appreciated the most. Was it trust? Was it transparency? Was it motivation? Was it, what was it in the comments? Just one word, right? Let's see what it was. We do some of these type of scenarios in our classes, and I'm very curious to see what the network of our viewers will say is what's the one word of a character trait that people appreciate most about their officers.
Love it.
And so before we go into snail mail, I wanted to add one more thing, Brian, to that is trust should be so far up on that list. My God, if not number one. And I talk about, I almost value trust over my faith in life. That's how much I value trust. If I can't trust you, if I can't even trust my faith, I have a problem. So that's why I almost use the word trust over faith. That's tough, right? I mean, we're sitting here. You have a slogan: faith, family, food, faith, family, fire, family, food, like whatever, fun. But you say faith first. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's almost kind of like inconceivable to say, oh man, I want to use the word trust over faith, but it's right up there. It is right up there. And if you are in a position of rank above me, I will respect your rank. But I will end with this. And there's a Bible verse, Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. All right. As a leader, you need to lead with love. Treat other people how you would treat your whatever, yourself, your family, it doesn't matter. Treat others at work the same way. Lead with love. It's not that fucking difficult. It's not hard. All right. And that's what I'm going to end with. I just think it's so important to be able to lead with love and it sounds corny in the fire service, but that's why we're here on the Cool Fireman podcast. So anybody that wants to put me down for saying that, then go ahead in the comments. I don't really give a shit. So anyways, lead with love. How about that? Here's some hearts for you. All you chest pounding firemen. Very good. Snail mail, unless, sorry, Unkie, did you want to add anything? You haven't talked in a while, and I want to give you an opportunity. Okay. He's saying no. So snail mail.
It's snail mail time.
All right, boys. Spotify kind of blew up the last couple of weeks. And so Zach has just been on it, and we always have, I'm going to be bringing up Zach probably every week here if he keeps continuing this. It's just so great. So he was talking about at our last episode. He said, this year I'm doing no socials. He's given up social media. A lot more focus on health and fitness and catering it to functional strength and longevity. I fucking love that, Zach. Dude, longevity for the win, dude. Everybody's talking about it. It's kind of the new thing. Hopefully it's not a fad, but also cutting out 30 to 45 minutes daily to journal and be in the Bible prayer with my wife. Man, this guy's
love
amazing.
it.
Really want to instill these healthy habits into my kiddos young. One last huge one is to really, in all caps, really practice being slow to speak and being very intentional with my words. This guy, dude, we got to have Zach on the podcast. Dude, I'm telling you, man, you are spot on. And this is everything that we want to represent. We seriously appreciate that we found you here in the community that we have in the podcast. It's so rad.
I love
it.
I love it.
How cool is that? Next on Spotify, Steven Weber. He was our very first Patreon supported turnout drill member. And we did a turnout drill with Steven Weber on last week. We don't have a turnout drill this week. I'm sorry. Sometimes we get a little busy. And we're going to reach out. We have a couple of guys that we want to reach out to for next week. But Steven said, thanks again for letting me be a part of the drill. Last name has a short E, pronounced like the grill. Freddie was dang close, about an hour south of Chicago.
Yeah.
Lifestyle change. Yeah. So lifestyle change for me this year is cutting pops and sweets. So soda, pops, whatever. As we all are getting back to the gym, and at least he says, as well as getting back to the gym at least 3 or 4 in the morning. At least 3 or 4 in the morning out of the week. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 3 or 4 mornings out of the week. Yeah, that's early.
It was there at 3 a.m. Good grief.
Yeah. So he said it was his routine before, but he kind of put it on the back burner. But looking forward to getting back at it this year. So I'm proud of you, Steven. We talked about it last week. I did have a heart attack 3 years ago, and I attribute my health and wellness to the fact that I'm still here talking to you guys. That's pretty heavy for me. Courtney says this year I'm focusing on drinking more water. I like that. Drinking more water. You're going to be in the bathroom a lot. I love it. Finding the right workout to build muscle, journaling at the end of each day, and finding a good therapist to talk to. And as always, another great episode, she says. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but Jeremy at National Fire Radio had a clip on social media talking about journaling. Did you guys see this?
Mm-mm.
It's very interesting, and it's very important. They were talking about journaling after fires. What went right? What went wrong? What were some specifics? Well, like some pertinent positives, pertinent negatives that they want to do or not do next time. Things that they can pass on to other crews. It's just really good opportunity to jot stuff down and remember. Because I don't know about you guys, but if I don't write stuff down, I it's gone and out of my brain, inside and out, within a day or so. So that's from Spotify. I know we had. Sorry, kind of doing this on the whim here. We had another one, but those are pretty good.
I'll say I know you said that we had a lot of comments about the what 3 words again. Still,
yes.
That was still kind of blowing up everywhere.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So
can I just say I wasn't on last week's episode. I just kind of want to say thank you for the engagements and the conversations about the word of the year. I really appreciated that. Already, and I'm doing this as kind of a par check, right? We're 2 to 3 weeks in throughout the year and prioritize. I was talking to my pastor earlier today, and just about some other stuff that was going on with church. And I've made it a point to start every day, reading, my devotional and stuff. And so I really appreciate that. And I'm saying that in the context of what we verbalize, right, and what we put out there in public as being a priority, now we're accountable to. So for those who were vulnerable enough to come to the comments, in addition to us, thank you for that. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to put yourself out there for accountability. I really appreciate that.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. Well, very good, guys. Good discussion. I had something and I just lost it. But anybody something to add at the end here?
We did not do a moment of silence in housekeeping. Can we close with that?
Yes.
And then I have a special guest. Special guest for the end.
Oh, yes.
I have a special guest.
Perfect.
So we'll do the moment of silence and then special guest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't have my notes brought up. That was terrible. Gosh darn.
That's okay. We rushed into starting, so
yeah,
it's cool.
All right. So we're going to do a moment of silence here at the end of the podcast. Obviously, we take it very seriously. Sometimes we forget because we're kind of scatterbrained. We apologize for that, and we know that all of our listeners in our community take it very serious to do a moment of silence. So let's do a moment of silence for all the brothers and sisters that we lost over the last week. Did you say amen?
Amen.
Okay, thank you. Well said. All right, there she is. She can't hear. Is that the Gigi?
Yeah.
Are you gonna roll us out today?
When we're done, you say.
Hey, hey, are you doing dance right now? What are you doing? Gymnastics or dance?
Dance.
You're doing dance. Are you doing competitions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody that can't see, we have Freddie's daughter Gigi on, and she's the one that talks at the very end. And we roll her out. Freddie does the roll with Gigi, and she gave us the most amazing. We call it an outro, Gigi. We call it an outro. That's the very specific professional way to say that we're ending the podcast. And you are always a part of every single podcast.
Can I say something real quick?
Great.
Didn't you, or aren't you just about to have a birthday?
Well, I did just have a birthday.
Happy birthday. Everybody in the comments, come and tell Gigi happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Are you 11?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. 2 years away from being a teenager. I bet you already act like a teenager, don't you? Yeah, you do. That was a question for your dad, not you. All right, very good. Anything that you want to add to the podcast, Gigi, here at the end, or are you going to roll us out?
Roll us out.
All right, roll us out. You know how to do it?
Who's going to say it?
You know what to say?
Daddy's going to say it. Daddy say it.
Actually say, roll it. Me.
Go.
Say it loud.
Roll it, Gigi.
Roll it, Gigi.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!